There are nights when the universe seems more alive than ever. This audiobook accompanies you for 2 hours on a serene journey through data as astonishing as it is real, stars that mark the destiny of ancient civilizations. Impossible planets floating alone in the void, explosions that seeded the elements of life, and invisible mysteries like dark matter. Each story is a window to the cosmos, and at the same time a refuge for your tired mind. As you rest, you will discover that even in the silence of the night, the universe continues to tell its story. Did you know that in the night sky there is a star that shines with such powerful intensity that it can be seen even on the darkest nights? That star is Sirius, the brightest among all those that adorn our firmament. Also known as the Dog Star, Sirius has fascinated humanity for millennia. Its light, which has traveled light years to reach our eyes, is a reminder of how small we are compared to the vastness of the universe. But why has it captured so much of our attention throughout history? The story of Sirius is also the story of astronomy itself. Ancient civilizations such as the Babylonians and the Egyptians revered it, associating it with deities and calendars. What significance could such a distant star have for the cultures that lived on Earth? Sirius marked the beginning of the annual floods of the Nile, a phenomenon that transformed the Egyptian landscape and ensured the fertility of the land. By observing it, ancient sages understood the cycle of life and death, a concept that resonates with us to this day. When we think of Sirius, we should not only imagine its bright light, but also its companion, Sirius B. This white dwarf star is the remnant of a star that exhausted its fuel and became a sphere of extremely dense matter. Its discovery was a milestone in the history of astronomy, a perfect example of how curiosity can lead us to unveil the secrets of the sky. What stories do these celestial bodies hold about the life and death of stars? Ancient astronomers did not only look to the sky for its beauty, they did so with a purpose. Knowing the constellations and their movements allowed them to predict natural events. The heliacal rising of Sirius, which occurred in the summer, marked a crucial moment for agriculture, a period when crops could thrive thanks to the floods of the Nile. By observing its appearance, the Egyptians found hope in its cycle. Isn't it fascinating how a star can influence the fate of an entire civilization? As we advance in our exploration, we can also ask ourselves, how can Sirius be observed from different parts of the world? The answer is simple and beautiful. In the northern hemisphere, it is visible in winter, while in the southern hemisphere it shines brightly during summer. With a clear sky, anyone can find it like a beacon guiding us through the darkness. Isn't it comforting to know that there is a point in the sky that we can all share no matter where we are? This journey through the universe does not stop at Sirius. It will take us to the far reaches of space, where exoplanets like Coconuts 2b exist, the closest ever photographed. Imagine a world orbiting a distant star where the conditions could be so different from ours. The exploration of these distant worlds invites us to reflect on the diversity and complexity of our own planet. What could be in those corners of the cosmos that we have yet to discover? As we delve into the characteristics of Coconuts 2b, we discover its mass, type, and the temperature that defines it. This data helps us build a picture of what life might be like elsewhere. But we won't stop there. The K21 stellar system awaits us, a system that could harbour a new Earth, a place where life could flourish. The idea of finding a home beyond our own planet is both exciting and terrifying. What does the possibility of finding life on other worlds really mean for us? Brown dwarfs also play an important role in our search. These stars, which are cooler than normal stars, teach us about the variety of celestial bodies that exist in the universe. How do they form? What can they reveal about the history of the cosmos? Their existence reminds us that there is much more than meets the eye, a reminder that the quest for knowledge is never-ending. On the horizon, the exoplanet PSO J318.5-22 looms, a solitary planet that does not orbit around a star. What kind of circumstances could lead a planet to wander through space without a sun to guide it? These questions lead us to reflect on our own place in the universe. Are we really alone in this vast darkness? The existence of super-Earths, those exoplanets that have masses between those of Earth and gas giants, also opens new possibilities. The classification of TOI 1452b as an ocean planet that could contain water is a discovery that intrigues us. Could this be the home of life forms we cannot yet imagine? As we explore the K218 system, where exoplanets K218b and K218c could harbor life, we face the eternal search for extraterrestrial life. Scientists use specific criteria to determine which planets might be habitable. What characteristics are essential for life as we know it, and what if there are life forms that challenge our understanding of what it means to be alive? The Fermi paradox also arises in our minds. If the universe is so vast and ancient, where is everybody? This dilemma invites us to question our understanding of the cosmos and our search for companionship in the immensity. But all is not lost. The exploration of phenomena like black holes and supernovae offers us a deep insight into the dynamics of the universe. These stellar explosions are the engine of the creation of new elements, a cosmic dance that reminds us that death gives way to life. Finally, dark matter and dark energy are concepts that, although complex, are fundamental to understanding the structure of the universe. These invisible forces influence how everything we know behaves. As we reflect on these mysteries, let us hold on to the certainty that the cosmos is a place full of questions. A stage where each discovery brings us closer to the truth. So as we explore these themes, remember that the universe will always have secrets to reveal to us. The pursuit of knowledge will take us to unexpected places and allow us to dream of what lies beyond our reach. Allow yourself to be part of this journey where every star and every planet has a story to tell and where the journey never ends. The star Sirius shines in the night sky like a beacon in the darkness, and its light has guided navigators and fascinated astronomers for millennia. But have you ever wondered why this star is so special? Known as the brightest star in the firmament, Sirius stands out not only for its brilliance, but also for its rich history and its influence on ancient cultures. From its name, which comes from the Greek Sirios, meaning burning, to its place in the constellation Canis Major, Sirius has been an object of admiration and reverence. In the vast universe, what makes a star stand out from the rest? The answer lies in its proximity and luminosity. At just 8 light-years away from Earth, Sirius is one of the closest stars to our solar system. This means that its light, which travels through space, reaches us quickly, allowing us to see it shine brightly. Its light is approximately 20 times brighter than that of the Sun, making it an unforgettable sight for those looking up on a clear night. The importance of Sirius is not limited to its brightness. Throughout history, it has played a crucial role in astronomy and navigation. The ancient Greeks considered it a star that heralded the arrival of summer heat, while in Egypt, its appearance in the sky marked the beginning of the Nile floods. Essential for agriculture. Can you imagine how a star can influence the lives of thousands of people? For the Egyptians, Sirius was more than just a point of light. It was a symbol of renewal and prosperity. The fascination with Sirius also extends to its companion, the white dwarf known as Sirius B. This small yet intriguing star was discovered in the 19th century and represents an exciting chapter in the history of astronomy. While Sirius A shines brightly, Sirius B is a reminder of stellar evolution, an ancient core that was once a massive star. The relationship between these two stars shows us how the universe is in constant change, with each star following its own life cycle. As we delve into the history of observing Sirius, we discover that its recognition is not exclusive to Western culture. Ancient civilizations such as the Babylonians also had a profound knowledge of this star. For them, Sirius was not just a celestial object, but a fundamental element in their astronomical calendar. Isn't it amazing to think that thousands of years ago, people in different parts of the world looked up at the same sky and admired the same star? The heliacal rising of Sirius, a phenomenon in which the star becomes visible just before dawn, held special significance for the Egyptians. This event marked the beginning of a new agricultural year, a time for planting and hope. The connection between nature and the stars is a lesson we can still learn today. How can a simple star have such a great impact on the life of a civilization? If you have ever tried to observe Sirius, you may have wondered when the best time to do so is. The good news is that thanks to its brightness, it is visible from almost anywhere in the world. However, the ideal conditions are during the winter months in the northern hemisphere when the sky is clearer and the star is higher in the sky. Imagine stepping out on a cold night, looking up at the sky and finding Sirius shining brightly, like a friend who always returns. The story of Sirius is a reflection of our human desire to understand the cosmos. Every star, every planet has its own story to tell. Sirius in particular reminds us that amidst the vastness of the universe, there are elements that can unite people across time and space. How can we continue exploring these wonders and find a sense of connection with them? The star Sirius is not just an object of study, but a symbol of human curiosity. It invites us to look up and ask ourselves about our place in the universe. Every time we gaze up and see its light, we are reminded that we are part of something much larger. The exploration of the stars teaches us about ourselves and our aspirations. As we venture into the immensity of the universe, it is important to remember that each star has its own secrets. The story of Sirius is just one chapter in the vast book of the cosmos. Science and curiosity drive us to discover more about these celestial wonders. So the next time you look up at the sky and see Sirius shining, remember that you are contemplating a story of light, life, and hope that has endured through the centuries. And as you immerse yourself in the contemplation of this star, think of all the questions that still remain unanswered. Curiosity is what drives us to keep exploring and learning. What other secrets do the stars hold? What stories have yet to be told? The answers to these questions may take us beyond what we ever imagined. Sirius, the star that lights up our sky, is just the beginning of a fascinating journey toward understanding the universe. If you're enjoying this journey through the universe and want to keep exploring more cosmic mysteries, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Thank you for being part of this star odyssey. The white dwarf Sirius B is a fascinating mystery that orbits around the brightest star in the night sky, Sirius A. But what makes this companion so special? To understand it, let's go back in time a bit. When Sirius A shone in all its glory, Sirius B was a massive star, probably similar to it. However, over millions of years, its fate changed drastically. The star that was once bright transformed into a white dwarf, a stellar remnant that has lost almost all of its energy. Now, how was Sirius B discovered? In 1844, the German astronomer Friedrich Bessel made a surprising finding. He observed that Sirius A was not moving alone in the sky. It seemed to be pulled by an invisible force. This led him to conclude that there was another star in its orbit, even though he could not see it. Through meticulous calculations, Bessel demonstrated that this companion star must be much smaller and less bright than Sirius A. But its existence was a milestone in astronomy. The revelation of the Sirius binary system opened a new chapter in our understanding of the universe. Why is this relationship between the two stars so important? Sirius B offers us a window into the final days of a star similar to our Sun. By studying its composition and evolution, astronomers can learn more about the life cycle of stars and how they end their existence. It's like having a time machine that allows us to observe events that occurred billions of years ago. Delving a bit deeper into history, it is fascinating to consider how ancient civilizations such as the Egyptians and Babylonians already knew about Sirius. For them, it was not just a star, it was a deity, a symbol of rebirth and fertility. When Sirius A appeared on the horizon before dawn, it marked the beginning of the annual flooding of the Nile, a crucial phenomenon for agriculture. The position of Sirius in the sky was so intertwined with their daily lives that they even built calendars and rituals in its honor. But let's return to the white dwarf. This small celestial body, although it does not shine with the same intensity as its companion, is extremely dense. Imagine a mass similar to that of our Sun compressed into a space the size of Earth. This phenomenon is what makes Sirius B such an intriguing object of study. Its high density and cold nature have challenged scientists for decades. How is it possible for something so small to have so much mass? Furthermore, the relationship between Sirius A and Sirius B offers a lesson about the diversity of the cosmos. We often tend to think of stars as solitary entities because from Earth we see many of them in isolation. However, binary star systems like that of Sirius are quite common. This leads us to wonder how many other similar systems exist in our universe. In the case of Sirius B, its orbit around Sirius A is the result of a delicate cosmic ballet. It takes about 50 years to complete one orbit around its companion. This long journey reminds us that time in the universe is not measured in the same way we do on Earth. For these stars, life is an eternal cycle of birth, evolution, and transformation. How does it feel to know a star that has changed so much throughout its existence? The story of Sirius B is a tale of transformation and rebirth. As it cools, it becomes a reminder that even stars can have an end. And from that end, new possibilities can arise. On the other hand, the existence of Sirius B invites us to reflect on the nature of light and darkness in the universe. While Sirius A shines with dazzling brightness, its companion is a beacon of what remains after a star has exhausted its fuel. This contrast between light and darkness is a recurring theme in nature, and in space, it symbolizes the stages of life itself. In conclusion, the Sirius A and Sirius B system is more than just a simple pair of stars. It is a story of interconnectedness, a reminder that in the vast universe, every star, every planet, and every white dwarf has its own role to play. With each discovery we make about these stars, we not only expand our knowledge of the cosmos, but also deepen our connection to the universe and our place within it. What other secrets does the sky hold for us? The exploration has only just begun. Since time immemorial, humanity has looked to the sky and found in the stars not only a visual spectacle, but also a profound meaning. Among them, there is one that shines with a particular intensity, leaving an indelible mark on history: Sirius. This star, known as the brightest in the firmament, has captured the imagination of entire civilizations, from the Babylonians to the Egyptians. But what makes Sirius so special? For the ancient Egyptians, Sirius was not just another star, it was a symbol of rebirth and fertility. Its appearance in the sky marked the beginning of their new year, a crucial moment that coincided with the flooding of the Nile, a vital phenomenon for their agriculture. Can you imagine how they felt seeing that bright star rising on the horizon like a sign of hope and abundance? That connection between heaven and earth is a thread that binds many cultures throughout history. The Babylonians, for their part, also revered Sirius. They called it the dog star, a name that reflects its association with the dog god, and its position in the sky was crucial for their agricultural practices. Each civilization had its own interpretation of this star, but they all agreed on one thing: its impact was profound and true. Observing Sirius was not only an act of admiration, but also a way to understand time and the cycle of life. Did you know that ancient navigators used its light to orient themselves on their journeys? Sirius acted as a beacon in the vast darkness of the ocean, guiding those who ventured in search of new horizons. Who would have thought that a star could be so crucial for survival and exploration? As astronomy advanced, the importance of Sirius only grew. With the development of more sophisticated telescopes, astronomers began to unravel the mysteries surrounding this brilliant star. From its chemical composition to its relative distance from Earth, each discovery was like opening a new page in a book that never ceases to amaze us. Isn't it fascinating to think that throughout history, humans have been on a constant quest for knowledge, guided by the light of a star? The history of observing Sirius is also full of curiosities. In the 18th century, the French astronomer Pierre-Simon Laplace proposed that Sirius had an invisible companion, a mystery that intrigued many for years. This enigma was later solved with the discovery of Sirius B, a white dwarf that orbits around its brighter companion. Thus, the story of Sirius becomes a tale of discovery and wonder, a testament to human curiosity. Some might wonder if the study of stars has relevance in our everyday lives. The answer is a resounding yes. The way the ancient Egyptians and Babylonians guided themselves by Sirius teaches us about the interconnectedness between nature and humanity. Isn't it amazing to think that, like them, we too can look to the sky and find inspiration and guidance in the stars? Moreover, the way different cultures have interpreted Sirius highlights the diversity of thoughts and beliefs that exist in the world. Each story, each myth illuminates a different aspect of the human experience. Thus, the brightest star in the sky becomes a mirror reflecting our hopes, dreams, and fears. As we contemplate this star, it is easy to be swept away by the sense of wonder and smallness that the universe evokes. Isn't it comforting to know that despite our differences, we all share this sky? The story of Sirius reminds us that we are part of something much larger, something that transcends time and space. Certainly, observing Sirius invites us to reflect on our own existence. By looking up, we can find answers to questions that may be difficult to articulate. This star, which has guided generations, offers us a moment of peace in an often chaotic world. So, the next time you look at the night sky, take a moment to contemplate Sirius. Allow yourself to feel the connection with those who have looked up before you. Remember that although time moves on, the stars remain, shining with the same intensity they did thousands of years ago. The story of Sirius is a reminder of the beauty and mystery of the universe, a legacy that continues to inspire humanity to explore the unknown. With each twinkle of this star, it whispers stories of yore, of love, of life, and of hope. Isn't it wonderful to think that, in a corner of the vast universe, a star can unite generations through admiration and the pursuit of knowledge? The story of Sirius does not end here. In every observer who stops to contemplate it, its legacy lives on, illuminating the path toward the future. The heliacal rising of Sirius is a fascinating and ancient phenomenon that has captured the attention of many civilizations throughout history. But what does it really mean for a star to rise heliacally? To understand this, let's think about the cycle of the seasons and how the sky transforms over time. When we talk about the heliacal rising, we refer to the moment when a star, in this case Sirius, becomes visible just before dawn, right when the sun begins to rise. This event marked a crucial moment in the agricultural calendar of ancient cultures. Imagine a farmer in ancient Egypt preparing his field. The appearance of Sirius on the horizon at dawn was like an announcement of the arrival of the Nile flood, a vital event for planting. The star shone brightly, and its presence in the sky was a reminder that it was time to sow. Thus, Sirius was not just a star, but a celestial clock that guided daily life and agricultural activities. In ancient Egypt, this phenomenon was celebrated with festivities. The heliacal rising of Sirius coincided with the start of the Egyptian New Year, which was fundamental for agriculture. People looked to the sky with hope and expectation, knowing that the cycle of life would begin anew with the flooding of the Nile. But why was Sirius so important compared to other stars? The answer lies in its brightness. Sirius is the brightest star in the night sky, and its light is a beacon in the darkness. It was impossible not to notice its glow. But how did the ancient Egyptians know when this rising occurred? They used a calendar based on the observation of celestial bodies and the cycles of nature. With patience and dedication, they recorded each appearance of Sirius, thus creating a deep bond with the cosmos. This knowledge allowed them to plan their harvests and activities, turning the star into a symbol of stability and predictability in a world that could otherwise be chaotic. The Babylonians, another advanced civilization, also paid special attention to Sirius. Although their practices were different, their admiration for this star shone with the same intensity. The connection between heaven and earth was an essential feature of these cultures, which saw in the stars not only objects of beauty, but guides that influenced their lives. Sirius, being so prominent, was considered a protector, a guardian of humanity's destiny. However, this phenomenon was not limited to the ancients. Today, many astronomers and astronomy enthusiasts follow the cycle of Sirius with the same fascination. Modern technology has allowed us to predict accurately when the heliacal rising of this star will occur. Isn't it amazing to think that despite thousands of years of history, we still feel the same connection to the cosmos? So what can we learn from the heliacal rising of Sirius? It shows us how humanity has looked to the sky for answers and guidance. Through the centuries, this star has been a symbol of hope, renewal, and continuity. Every time it peaks over the horizon, it reminds us that we are part of a much larger universe, a cosmos that is constantly changing and evolving. The heliacal rising of Sirius also invites us to reflect on our relationship with nature and time. In a world full of distractions, observing the sky can be a way to reconnect with what is essential. The next time you see Sirius shining in the night, think of the generations that have contemplated its light and the role it has played in their lives. Sirius is more than a star. It is a link between the past and the present. A reminder that although time moves on, the sky will always be there, lighting our way. The story of the heliacal rising of Sirius is ultimately a story of connection. Throughout the centuries, we have looked up for answers. And each glance at the sky brings us a little closer to understanding our place in the vast universe. With each dawn that Sirius appears, the promise of a new beginning is renewed, a cycle that repeats itself over and over, reminding us that life, like the stars, has its own rhythm and beauty. Finally, the heliacal rising of Sirius teaches us that although scientific knowledge and technology have advanced, the wonder and admiration for the cosmos remain intact. So the next time you wake up before dawn, consider stepping outside and looking toward the horizon. Perhaps, like the ancients, you will find inspiration in the light of Sirius and in the vast mystery of the universe. When we look at the night sky, there is something almost magical about the way the stars shine. But have you ever wondered how you can see Sirius, the brightest star in the firmament? Below, we will explore some practical tips for observing this celestial gem, making your experience even more special. First, it's important to know that Sirius is not just a star. It is a star system composed of two stars, Sirius A, the brighter one, and its companion, the white dwarf Sirius B. To see Sirius A, you need a clear sky, away from city lights. Why is this so crucial? Light pollution can make the fainter stars disappear from our view, as if they were hiding behind a veil. So, if you have the opportunity to get away from urban lights, your search will be rewarded. Once you are in a dark place, there are a couple of things to keep in mind. The best time to observe Sirius is during the winter months in the northern hemisphere, when the star rises majestically in the sky. But how do you know exactly where to look? A good strategy is to first locate the constellation Canis Major, where Sirius resides. This constellation resembles a large dog, and Sirius is its brightest star, like a beacon in the night. If you can identify the Great Hunter, also known as Orion, locating Sirius becomes a piece of cake, as it is just below this stellar hunter. Once you have found Sirius, take a moment to simply contemplate its light. Did you know that its brightness is nearly 25 times more intense than that of the sun? That light you see has traveled more than 8 years to reach your eyes, crossing vast spaces in the universe. Now imagine all that distance and time, and how each flicker of light is an echo of the past. For those seeking an even more immersive experience, you might consider bringing a telescope or binoculars. While not necessary, these instruments can offer you a closer and more detailed view of Sirius and its companion Sirius B. However, don't be discouraged if you don't have one, even with the naked eye. The beauty of Sirius is undeniable. The star shines with a bluish-white hue, and that coloration is a clue about its enormous temperature, which hovers around 1500 degrees Celsius. There is a fascinating connection between star observation and nature. Just as ancient navigators were guided by the stars, you too can use Sirius as a celestial compass. Imagine how our ancestors looked up at the sky and found their way across unknown seas, guided by the same light that shines down on you now. If you decide to organize a stargazing night with friends or family, choose a comfortable spot. Don't forget to bring blankets. Lying under the starry sky can be a magical experience as you look up. Share stories about the star, its history, and its significance in different cultures. This will not only make the time fly by, but also create unforgettable memories. An additional tip is that you can download astronomy apps on your phone. These tools can help you identify other constellations and nearby stars. This way, every time you observe the sky, you can discover something new and exciting. Technology can be a great ally for stargazers, making us feel more connected to the cosmos. Patience is key in astronomical observation. Sometimes you may need to wait a bit for Sirius to peek through the clouds or for the sky to darken completely. It's a reminder that the universe has its own rhythm. While you wait, let your mind wander and relax. By observing Sirius, you can meditate on your place in the vast universe. But what if you live in a place where you can't see the stars? Not all is lost. You can still enjoy stargazing through online platforms and virtual astronomy events. Many organizations offer live streams of astronomical events, allowing you to connect with the cosmos from the comfort of your home. Finally, as you conclude your observation experience, take a moment to reflect. Looking at Sirius and the rest of the stars can offer you a sense of peace and wonder. It's a reminder of how vast and mysterious the universe is. So the next time you look up at the sky, remember that you are not just seeing lights, but stories that have been shining for thousands of years, waiting to be discovered by you. Did you know that in a corner of the universe, just about 4 light years away from us, there is an exoplanet called Coconuts 2b? This fascinating world has captured the attention of scientists and astronomy enthusiasts for being the closest exoplanet ever photographed. But what makes it so special? To understand the amazing nature of Coconuts 2b, it's important to know what an exoplanet is. Imagine a planet that orbits around a star that is not our sun. It's like having a lamp in your room. And around that lamp, different objects are spinning. Those objects are the planets, and when they orbit around a star that is not ours, they are called exoplanets. Coconuts 2b was discovered by a group of astronomers who used advanced telescopes. Have you ever wondered how you can see a planet that is so far away? The answer lies in technology. With powerful instruments, scientists can detect the light that a planet reflects and sometimes even capture images of it. This is similar to how you might see a small object shining in the dark if you had a very powerful flashlight. This exoplanet has intriguing characteristics that make it unique. Its mass is considerably greater than that of Earth, suggesting it could be a rocky world, but it might also have a different environment. Can you imagine a place where the skies are an unusual color and the mountains are taller than those on our planet? This is what is speculated about Coconuts 2b. The temperature on Coconuts 2b is another fascinating aspect. It is estimated to be quite warm, which could mean it has conditions that might harbor some form of life. But what if I told you that there is not just one Coconuts 2b? This discovery is part of a growing number of exoplanets that are expanding our knowledge of the universe. Scientists have begun to make comparisons between Coconuts 2b and Earth. Just like a chef tasting a new dish and wondering if it resembles one they already know, astronomers are asking whether the composition and conditions of Coconuts 2b could provide clues about the diversity of worlds that exist in the cosmos. As telescopes become more sophisticated, the search for exoplanets intensifies. Think of this as a game of hide and seek, where planets hide among the stars and astronomers are the hunters. Every time a new exoplanet is found, it's like discovering a new level in a video game, full of surprises and mysteries to solve. Studies on Coconuts 2b also lead us to question the existence of life elsewhere. Imagine that by looking through a telescope, you could see a world where there are shining oceans and mountains that reach the clouds. The possibility that suitable conditions for life exist in such a distant place makes us reflect on our own existence. Images of Coconuts 2b are not only a scientific achievement, but they also spark our imagination. When you look at the night sky, you might wonder what stories and mysteries are hidden in those bright points. each star could be home to a world similar to ours, waiting to be discovered. Moreover, Coconuts 2b invites us to think about the future of space exploration. If humans ever manage to travel to other star systems, this exoplanet could be one of the first destinations. Can you imagine walking on its surface and discovering what lies beyond our planet? The study of Coconuts 2b also highlights the importance of collaboration among scientists worldwide. Like a team of players in a sport, each researcher brings their skills and knowledge to advance our understanding of the universe. This cooperation is crucial for unraveling the secrets of exoplanets and their environments. As we reflect on Coconuts 2b, we realize that each new discovery brings us a little closer to understanding our place in the cosmos. With every image and every piece of data collected, we are peeking into a world of possibilities. The search for exoplanets is not just the study of distant worlds, but an exploration of what it means to be human and our connection to the universe. The future of astronomy is full of promise. With telescopes that can see beyond what our eyes can capture, the next generation of scientists and explorers will have the opportunity to discover even more. Coconuts 2b is just the beginning of a journey that could revolutionize our understanding of the universe. In conclusion, the exoplanet Coconuts 2b reminds us that, although we are here on Earth, we are part of a vast universe full of wonders. Every discovery, every piece of research brings us one step closer to understanding what lies beyond our home. So the next time you look at the sky, think of all those worlds that might be waiting to be discovered, including Coconuts 2b. The stars are just the beginning. Coconuts 2b, a curious name for an exoplanet that has captured the attention of astronomers and the curious alike. But what makes it so special? This planet is not just a sphere of rocks and gases lost in the vast ocean of space. It is the closest exoplanet we have managed to photograph, and that is already a significant achievement in itself. Getting to know it is like peering through a window that allows us to see a world that, although distant, offers us clues about what life might be like in other corners of the universe. Let's talk about its mass. Did you know that Coconuts 2b has approximately twice the mass of our planet Earth? Imagine stacking two soccer balls on top of each other. That's the difference in mass. It's not much, but enough to intrigue us. What does that mean in terms of gravity? A greater mass could suggest that gravity on Coconuts 2b is stronger than ours, which could affect how beings that might inhabit it behave. Can you imagine walking in a place where each step feels a little heavier? Temperature is another essential aspect of understanding a planet's environment. Coconuts 2b is located at a considerable distance from its star, giving it an unusual climate. Being a colder world than our home, its surface might be covered in ice and snow, raising the question, what would it be like to live in such a place? Icy landscapes could offer spectacular views, but also unique challenges. What kind of life could adapt to these extreme conditions? The orbit of Coconuts 2b is also interesting. It completes its orbit around its star in a relatively short time, meaning that a year on this planet lasts only a couple of days. But what does that mean for a hypothetical inhabitant with such short days? Their sleep and activity cycles would be completely different from ours. Imagine a world where night and day change in the blink of an eye. How would that affect culture, customs, even the way time is perceived? As if that weren't enough, this exoplanet is not alone in space. It is part of a stellar system that hosts other celestial bodies, creating a cosmic neighborhood. This environment may influence Coconuts 2b in ways we are just beginning to understand. Could there be other planets in this system with similar characteristics, or perhaps some that are completely different? Each discovery in this system not only adds more questions, but also brings us closer to understanding the multiple environments where life could exist. Astronomers have used advanced tools to study Coconuts 2b, but we often wonder what else is out there. As we contemplate the vastness of the universe, this planet serves as a reminder of what we still have to discover. Every photograph, every piece of data collected is one step closer to a deeper understanding of our place in the cosmos. Human curiosity drives us to seek answers, and each new finding is like a piece of a cosmic puzzle. The similarities and differences between coconuts, Dosby, and Earth are fascinating. Although it may seem like a cold and distant world, it reminds us that there are many forms of life and environments in the universe. Each planet can tell its own story, and every discovery offers us an opportunity to reflect on our existence and the possibilities that may exist in the cosmos. Imagining what life would be like on Coconuts Dosby invites us to dream. Would its inhabitants be similar to us? Would they have advanced technology or live in simple communities? In a world with an extreme climate, adaptability would be key. Perhaps they could develop unique ways to interact with their environment, leading us to wonder, how diverse would life be on a planet that seems so different from ours? Coconuts Dosby, although distant, offers us a glimpse of what interplanetary exploration could be like. Whether through telescopes or future space missions, every effort to learn more about this exoplanet is a step toward a future where we could learn more about other worlds. Science fiction may seem like a distant dream, but each discovery in the field of astronomy brings us closer to that reality. In conclusion, Coconuts Dosby is more than just a name on a star map. It is a reminder of the wonder of the universe and of human curiosity to explore the unknown. Every piece of information we learn about this exoplanet brings us a little closer to understanding the vast and mysterious cosmos in which we live. So, as we look up at the starry sky, let's remember that there is much more to discover on our journey through the universe. The exploration continues, and who knows what wonders await us. In a corner of the vast universe, there lies a stellar system that has captured the attention of astronomers and dreamers alike. This is the K21 system, but what makes it so fascinating and special? Imagine a place where the possibilities of finding a new Earth are more than just simple dreams. Could this system harbor a planet that might become a new home for humanity? Within this system, there is a star that could be considered a cold star. But what does that really mean? In astronomical terms, it's not just about temperature, but about the very nature of the star. Cooler stars are different from the ones we usually know. Instead of the blazing brightness that lights up our sky, these stars emit a dim and soft light, almost like a night lamp that accompanies us in the darkness. This type of light is a reminder that the universe is full of surprises and that not everything that shines is necessarily hot. As we explore this system, the question arises, what about the planets that orbit around this cold star? Imagine a planet that spins in a calm orbit far from the frenzy of extreme heat. In this environment, conditions may be more favorable for life as we know it. The distance from its star might allow water to remain in a liquid state, which is essential for life. But what else can we learn about this planet? Scientists are carefully studying this system, using state-of-the-art telescopes to unravel its secrets. Did you know that some of these telescopes can detect light passing through the atmosphere of an exoplanet? By analyzing that light, researchers can uncover the chemical composition of the planet. This means that if there is water or even oxygen, they could detect it. Imagine the excitement of finding signs of life on a world that, until now, was just a dot in the sky. Each discovery in the K21 system is like a small brick added to the construction of our understanding of the universe, and this is where human curiosity comes into play. What motivates us to seek new worlds? The answer may be as simple as the search for companionship in the vastness of the cosmos. The idea that we are not alone is a powerful drive that leads us to investigate, explore, and dream. Often science fiction shows us distant and exotic worlds, but reality can be even more surprising. The planets in the K21 system could be very different from what we imagine. Perhaps they have spectacular landscapes, oceans of unknown colors, or skies that shine with closer stars. The diversity of exoplanets is a reminder that the universe is a place full of infinite possibilities. Research on this system not only focuses on the search for life, it also teaches us about the formation of stellar systems and the evolution of planets. How do these worlds form, like pieces of a puzzle? Planets assemble from gas and dust floating in space, spinning around their parent star. Understanding how these systems form helps us better understand our own home in the universe. But what if we find a habitable planet? Would we be ready to take the leap and explore new frontiers? The idea of colonizing other worlds has been a recurring theme in science fiction, but it is also a real challenge. The distances are immense and resources limited. However, each advance in technology brings us a little closer to the possibility of traveling among the stars. Meanwhile, the exploration of the K21 system continues, and each new finding is another step in the search for answers. What other secrets might be hidden in this corner of space? Human curiosity is insatiable, and each answer seems to open the door to more questions. Perhaps one day we will discover that not only is there a new home waiting for us, but also a new chapter in the history of humanity. In this journey of discovery, it is essential to remember that the universe is a vast and mysterious place. Every star, every planet, every galaxy has its own story to tell. So as we continue to look up at the stars, we must never forget the importance of asking questions, exploring and marveling at the mysteries that surround us. What other wonders await us in the cosmos? The answer to that question could be the key to understanding our place in the universe. Brown dwarf stars are one of the most intriguing secrets of the universe. Did you know they are like the younger siblings of stars? These fascinating celestial entities have a unique story worth exploring. But what exactly are brown dwarf stars, and why are they so special? To begin with, we can imagine a brown dwarf star as a failed attempt to form a star. When a group of gas and dust in space comes together to create a star, it needs to reach sufficient internal temperature and pressure to initiate nuclear fusion. However, if there isn't enough mass, fusion never begins. Thus, what should be a star becomes a brown dwarf, which is smaller and dimmer than the stars we are used to seeing in the sky. These stars are, in essence, underheated. Think of them as a campfire that fails to ignite fully. Although they do not shine with the same intensity as a normal star, brown dwarfs can still produce some light through hydrogen and deuterium fusion, an isotope of hydrogen. This light is very faint, making them difficult to detect. In fact, brown dwarfs are so subtle that they often escape the notice of even the most powerful telescopes. One of the most interesting questions is, how many of these stars exist in our galaxy? It is estimated that there could be trillions of them in the Milky Way. Imagine that, trillions. This means they could be more common than the stars that shine in the night sky. But why don't we see them? The answer lies in their low luminosity. They are often found in the same regions as normal stars, but they do not emit enough light to be easily detected. Moreover, brown dwarfs can be a fascinating bridge between stars and planets. Some scientists believe they may have characteristics similar to giant planets, raising the intriguing possibility that they could host planetary systems. Can you imagine a world orbiting a brown dwarf? Although we have not yet found planets orbiting around them, the search continues. Brown dwarfs also provide clues about the formation of stars and planets. By studying these entities, astronomers can better understand how celestial bodies form and evolve in the universe. This helps us answer questions about the origin of our own solar system. Could there be brown dwarfs in the vicinity of our sun that we have yet to discover? An intriguing aspect is how they are classified. There are different types of brown dwarfs, ranging from the coldest to the hottest. The coldest ones can have temperatures similar to some planets, making their study even more intriguing. Imagine a place in space where the temperatures are so low that they resemble an eternal winter. This not only contributes to the diversity of the universe, but also challenges our understanding of what constitutes a star. Brown dwarfs are not only subjects of study for astronomers, but they also play a crucial role in the history of astronomy. The discovery of these stars has helped scientists redefine what we consider a star and has expanded our notions about the formation of the cosmos. Their existence has challenged traditional theories and led us to think beyond the boundaries we once believed we understood. Additionally, some research has suggested that there may be brown dwarfs in our galactic neighborhood, near our own star. This raises exciting questions about the possibility of other celestial bodies that we have not seen and that could offer more clues about the structure of the universe. In the context of the search for extraterrestrial life, brown dwarf stars are also relevant. Some scientists are beginning to investigate whether planets orbiting these stars could have the right conditions to support life. Despite their weak light, this opens a new chapter in the search for habitable worlds and reminds us that the universe is a place full of surprises. And here's another surprising aspect. Some brown dwarfs are so large that they are on the verge of being considered stars. They fall into this intermediate category that challenges conventional definitions. This makes us question not only how we classify stars, but also how we understand the physics behind them. In conclusion, brown dwarf stars are a reminder that the universe is full of wonders and mysteries. Despite their size and faint glow, their existence raises fascinating questions about star formation, the possibility of life on other worlds, and the very fabric of the cosmos. As we continue to explore and discover, these brown dwarfs may teach us much more than we ever imagined. So the next time you look up at the sky, remember that even in the darkness, there are lights telling stories waiting to be discovered. What if I told you that in our vast universe there is a planet that walks alone in the darkness without a star to guide it? We are talking about the exoplanet PSOJ 318.5-22, a solitary world that has intrigued astronomers since its discovery. This planet does not orbit around a star, which makes it quite special and perhaps a little sad. But what does this mean in astronomical terms? Imagine a child who, when lost in a huge park, finds themselves alone and far from home. That's PSOJ 318.5-22. An exoplanet that, instead of following the light of its star, floats freely through space. This planet was discovered in 2013 and is located about 65 light-years away from us, in the constellation of Pictor. It's as if it is on an aimless journey, exploring a vast universe full of mysteries. But how does it feel to be so far from a star? The temperature on PSOJ 318.5-22 is quite high, around 1000 degrees Celsius. This heat comes from its own internal energy, rather than the light of a nearby star. Imagine a pot of boiling water that never cools down. This planet is the opposite of what we consider a cozy home. Instead of the warmth of starlight, its environment is dark and cold, raising intriguing questions about its formation and evolution. What could have led this planet to become a cosmic wanderer in the case of PSOJ 318.5-22? It is believed that it may have formed in a traditional stellar system, but for some reason it was ejected, like a child drifting away from their group of friends. This expulsion could be the result of gravitational interactions with other celestial bodies, leaving it adrift in the vast ocean of space. This origin story is a reminder of the complexity of our universe. Despite its loneliness, PSOJ 318.5-22 is not completely devoid of interesting features. This exoplanet is more massive than Jupiter, which means it has considerable gravitational strength. Imagine a giant walking alone, capable of attracting everything around it, even though it has no star to illuminate it. Its mass and temperature classify it as a giant planet, making it a fascinating object of study for astronomers. One question that arises is, could there be life in such a place? The answer is complicated. The absence of a star means there is no sunlight to warm the planet consistently. However, some scientists suggest that there could be unique chemical processes within it that might allow for the existence of extreme life forms. Can you imagine creatures living in total darkness, adapting to a hostile environment? It's a concept that might seem straight out of a science fiction novel. The exploration of PSOJ 318.5-22 also raises questions about the diversity of planets in the universe. How many other solitary worlds could be wandering through the cosmos? Perhaps there are thousands of them, each with its own story and characteristics. The idea that there are planets that do not follow the rules of our solar system is like opening a storybook where each page reveals a new and strange world. Astronomers have used advanced telescopes to observe this exoplanet, and the information gathered has been invaluable. However, the fact that it is a solitary world means that it is difficult to study its atmosphere and composition in the same way we would with a planet orbiting a star. It's like trying to understand someone's life who never shares their experiences. There will always be an air of mystery. Although PSOJ 318.5-22 is a lonely planet, its existence reminds us that the universe is a place full of surprises. Each discovery leads us to question our preconceived ideas about what a planet should be like and what conditions are necessary for life. This exoplanet, being completely outside the norms, invites us to broaden our view of the cosmos. As we contemplate the immensity of space, it's easy to feel small and insignificant, but each of us is part of this vast universe, and in turn, each discovery like that of PSOJ 318.5-22 connects us in some way. It shows us that even in solitude there is beauty and mystery, and that every aspect of the cosmos has a story to tell. At the end of the day, the exoplanet PSOJ 318.5-22 is a reminder that the universe is full of unanswered questions, and that each discovery brings us one step closer to understanding its vastness. On a planet that walks alone, we find hope that there is still much to discover in the great book of the cosmos. And so, each glance at the night sky can be an invitation to dream, to explore, and to wonder about what lies beyond our home. Super-Earths are a fascinating mystery in the vast universe, and their study has captured the attention of scientists and dreamers alike. What exactly are they? Imagine a planet that is larger than Earth, but not as massive as gas giants like Jupiter or Saturn. This is the concept of a super-Earth, a world that has a mass between 1 and 10 times that of our home. But why are they so important in the search for life elsewhere? The existence of super-Earths makes us rethink what we know about habitability. While we have been focused on finding planets that are similar to Earth, such as those orbiting in the so-called habitable zone of their stars, super-Earths have characteristics that could open new possibilities. For example, due to their greater gravity and size, they could have denser atmospheres that might protect life from cosmic radiation. An intriguing aspect is that these super-Earths could harbor liquid water, an essential ingredient for life as we know it. Can you imagine finding vast oceans on a planet that is not exactly like Earth, but could have its own forms of life? This is exactly what astronomers are searching for. Super-Earths may have conditions that, although different, could be suitable for some type of life. What about their climate? Super-Earths have a variety of possible climates. Some could be warm and humid, while others could be cold and arid. This diversity makes them even more interesting to scientists. Think about what this means. A planet that is larger than Earth could have completely distinct ecosystems, with flora and fauna that we have never imagined. Often when we hear about exoplanets, the first question that arises is, how do we find them? Most discoveries of super-Earths have been made possible through methods like transit, where we observe how the light from a star dims when a planet passes in front of it. This method has allowed scientists to detect thousands of exoplanets, including many super-Earths. A surprising number of super-Earths have been discovered in our own galaxy, the Milky Way. Did you know that it is estimated that there could be billions of super-Earths just in our galaxy? This number gives us an idea of how common these worlds might be, and it pushes us to wonder how many of them could be habitable. When talking about super-Earths, it is inevitable to mention the possibilities of life. The conditions on these planets could be very different from those on Earth, but that doesn't mean they can't harbor life. Biology is incredibly adaptable. Imagine life forms thriving in extreme environments, perhaps in oceans of lava or beneath layers of ice. Super-Earths could be home to beings that challenge our understanding of what it means to be alive. A notable example of a super-Earth is GJ 3186b, a planet that has sparked the interest of scientists. This planet is in the habitable zone of its star, which means it could have conditions suitable for liquid water. However, what makes it even more intriguing is its potential to have a dense atmosphere and protect any form of life that may exist there. Super-Earths also present challenges in terms of exploration. Due to their distance and the complexity of their atmospheres, determining whether they can actually harbor life is a monumental challenge. But advances in technology and telescopes, such as the James Webb Space Telescope, are bringing us closer to answering these questions. Each new discovery is a step closer to understanding our place in the cosmos. And although we cannot visit these super-Earths in person, each new finding gives us a glimmer of hope and possibility. Think about what it would mean to find a planet where life can exist. Would that change our view of the universe? Would it make us feel more connected to other forms of life in the cosmos? The search for super-Earths and the possibility of life on them also invites us to reflect on our own existence on Earth. As we explore these distant worlds, we are reminded of the fragility of our own planet and the importance of taking care of it. Each super-Earth we find reminds us that although we are just a tiny dot in the vast universe, there are many more stories to discover. The exploration of super-Earths is a reminder that the universe is full of surprises, and each discovery brings us closer to answers that have long been in the air. The question of whether we are alone in the universe is more relevant than ever. And each super-Earth found is a new chapter in this endless quest. So as you look up at the starry sky on a clear night, remember that each of those stars could harbor unknown worlds, and perhaps, just perhaps, some of those super-Earths are home to life. The search continues, and the universe still has many secrets to reveal to us. Did you know there is an exoplanet that has captured the attention of astronomers due to its possible relationship with water? We are talking about the exoplanet TOI 1452b, a fascinating world located about 100 light-years from Earth. This planet has sparked the interest of scientists worldwide for a very special reason: its potential to harbor liquid water, a fundamental ingredient for life as we know it. TOI 1452b is not just any planet. It has characteristics that make it unique in our cosmic neighborhood. Imagine a place where the temperature could be ideal for the existence of water. That is exactly what researchers are trying to find out. The temperature of a planet is crucial, as it determines whether water can exist in liquid form, like that found in our oceans. But how do scientists determine this? One of the methods they use is observing the light that passes through the planet's atmosphere when it transits in front of its star. This phenomenon allows astronomers to analyze the atmospheric composition of TOI 1452b. If they detect certain elements such as water vapor, that could mean the planet has the necessary conditions to support life. It's like trying to guess the contents of a dark bottle just by the aroma it gives off. In addition to its possible presence of water, there is something more intriguing about TOI 1452b, its location in the habitable zone of its star. This means it is not too close, where it could be a scorching world, nor too far, where extreme cold could reign. Instead, it is located at just the right point, as if it were the perfect spot in a well-lit room, where sunlight is warm but not overwhelming. But what physical characteristics does this planet have? TOI 1452b is classified as a super-Earth. This means its mass is greater than that of our planet, but not as much as that of gas giants. Imagine a sphere larger than Earth with a surface that could be rocky or even covered in water. That image is what scientists have in mind. One of the most common questions among space enthusiasts is, how do we know if a planet like TOI 1452b can actually harbor life? The answer lies in the combination of different factors. It's not just about temperature or the presence of water, but a series of conditions that must align like pieces of a puzzle. The atmosphere, gravity, and orbital stability are some of the pieces researchers must consider. Imagining a journey to TOI 1452b can be exciting, but it also raises questions. If one day we were to get there, what kind of life might we find? Would it be similar to ours or completely different? The search for life on other planets invites us to reflect on our own existence and the place we occupy in the vast universe. Isn't it fascinating to think that we might not be alone? As scientists continue to explore space, TOI 1452b becomes a key piece in the quest for answers. Future missions could provide us with valuable information about this exoplanet and other nearby worlds. Each discovery brings us a little closer to understanding how planets form and what conditions are necessary for life to thrive. The study of TOI 1452b also helps us better understand our own planet. By comparing its atmosphere and characteristics with those of Earth, we can learn more about the evolution of worlds and how conditions for life develop. It's like looking through a window into other realities, each with its own story and possibilities. With each new mission and discovery, excitement grows. What else does the universe hold for us? Are there other worlds like TOI 1452b where life could exist? Human curiosity is insatiable, and every answer we find leads us to new questions. The exoplanet TOI 1452b is just one of the many wonders that the cosmos has to offer. As we continue to look toward the stars, let's remember that each discovery is another step in our quest to understand the universe and our place in it. Who knows what mysteries will be revealed in the future? The adventure is just beginning, and the possibilities are endless. In the vast and mysterious universe, there are places and celestial bodies that awaken our curiosity and wonder. One of those fascinating stellar systems is K218, home to two exoplanets known as K218b and K218c. But what makes these worlds so intriguing? Could they be a refuge for life as we know it? K218b, for example, is a planet located in the habitable zone of its star. This means it is at a suitable distance for water, an essential ingredient for life to exist in liquid form. Imagine a place where rivers and oceans can flow, where life could have evolved in ways we cannot yet imagine. But what about K218c? This planet also orbits the same star, but it has distinct characteristics that make it equally fascinating. The diversity in this stellar system invites us to reflect on the infinite possibilities that the cosmos holds. And when we talk about water, we cannot help but wonder, how do scientists determine if a planet has water? They use advanced telescopes to study the light that passes through a planet's atmosphere. When the light filters through, certain wavelengths are absorbed while others are transmitted, allowing astronomers to infer the atmospheric composition. This is somewhat like checking the flavor of a dish by tasting a spoonful. Each bite reveals a part of the recipe. Thus, astronomers can identify the presence of water vapor, a promising sign in the search for life. The question many ask is, if K218b has water, could there be life on its surface? The answer is complex. On Earth, water is the habitat for an incredible diversity of organisms, from the simplest bacteria to the most complex mammals. But on other worlds, life could be very different. Perhaps the organisms on K218b would have developed unique characteristics to survive in their environment, adapting to conditions we cannot imagine. When considering the K218 system, it is also interesting to think about how these planets relate to each other. Their proximity to the star and gravitational interactions may influence their climate and geology. It's as if they are siblings in a cosmic home, each affecting one another in ways we are just beginning to understand. What secrets do these interactions hold? The possibility that K218b and K218c could be habitable raises another intriguing question. Could they communicate with each other in some way if they had life? Although this may seem like a concept taken from a science fiction novel, the idea of interconnected worlds invites us to think about life in broader and more creative terms. Scientists are eager to learn more about these planets and their stellar system. Each discovery about K218b and K218c brings us one step closer to answering fundamental questions about life in the universe. Are we alone in this vast cosmos? Are there other forms of life that have developed cultures and technologies like ours? The search for life is not limited to our solar system. It extends across millions of light years, where billions of stars and planets exist. Every time an astronomer discovers a new exoplanet, a window to new possibilities opens. Perhaps someday, one of these worlds will reveal signs of life such as radio waves or unusual patterns in its atmosphere, sending us a message from the stars. However, the search for life on K218 and other systems is not just about finding living beings, it is also about understanding our own existence. Each discovery in space helps us better understand who we are and what our place is in the cosmos. It reminds us that we are part of an expansive universe full of mysteries and wonders. As we reflect on exoplanets and their potential to harbor life, it is essential to remember that science is constantly advancing. What seems like a dream today may become a reality tomorrow, so as we look toward the stars, we must keep our hearts and minds open to all possibilities. The exploration of K218b and K218c is just a small part of a universe full of surprises. What other worlds await us? What secrets are yet to be discovered? Human curiosity is a powerful force, and with every question we ask, we are one step closer to unraveling the mysteries of the cosmos. In the end, perhaps the most surprising thing of all is that the search for life is not just a search for others, but also for ourselves. The search for extraterrestrial life is like a long journey where each discovery is another step towards understanding if we are alone in the vast universe. What would happen if we found irrefutable evidence that we are not alone? The idea that other beings, perhaps in distant worlds, are living and exploring their own cosmos is one of the most fascinating questions humanity can ask. But how do scientists seek answers to this concern? First, it is important to understand what life really means. For scientists, life is not limited to the form we know on Earth. By observing our own planet, we see that life can thrive in extreme conditions. From the icy depths of the ocean to scorching deserts, this diversity leads us to wonder, could there be life in places we never imagined, such as on the moons of Jupiter or Saturn? Scientists have established a series of criteria that help identify whether an exoplanet has the potential to host life. One of the most well-known is the habitable zone, also called the Goldilocks zone. This is the area around a star where conditions might allow for the existence of liquid water, an essential ingredient for life as we know it. But what happens if a planet is outside this zone? That is where imagination and science intertwine, as other factors that could allow life in less conventional environments are studied. In this context, exoplanets with atmospheres rich in gases like oxygen and methane are of particular interest. These gases can be signals of biological activity. For example, on Earth, the presence of oxygen is indicative of life, as it is produced by photosynthetic organisms. So if we discover similar signs on other planets, it would be an exciting indication that there could be life out there. But how do we detect these gases on distant planets? Through advanced telescopes, scientists can analyze the light that passes through the atmosphere of an exoplanet. This phenomenon is called spectroscopy. By studying the filtered light, they can identify the chemical composition of the atmosphere. Imagine looking at a rainbow. Each color represents a different element. If we detect combinations of gases that would not normally exist together without the intervention of living organisms, we can begin to glimpse the possibility of life. However, the search for life is not limited to looking for signals in the atmospheres of planets. Places within our own solar system are also being explored. Moons like Europa, a moon of Jupiter, are of interest due to their subsurface oceans. Space missions have revealed that these oceans could be a conducive environment for microbial life. So, what would happen if we found life on Europa? It would be a milestone that would change our understanding of the universe. Despite all these efforts, we still face the Fermi paradox. This is a simple yet unsettling question. If the universe is so vast and ancient, and if there are so many stars and planets, why have we not found signs of extraterrestrial life? This paradox raises doubts and theories. Some suggest that life is extremely rare, while others propose that advanced civilizations tend to self-destruct before they can communicate with others. The search for extraterrestrial intelligence does not stop at observing planets. Messages are also sent into space, such as the famous Arecibo message, which contained information about humanity and our planet. Who knows? Perhaps one day, an advanced civilization will receive our message and decide to respond. But how do we know that we haven't already been heard? The answer may lie in the search for radio signals coming from other stars. As we reflect on the possibility of life in the universe, it is essential to remember that science is constantly advancing. Each new space mission, every telescope launched into space, and every discovery in astrobiological research brings us a little closer to answering this question. Human curiosity is insatiable, and the search for life on other worlds is a manifestation of that desire to understand our place in the cosmos. The stories of life in the universe are not just a scientific quest, but also a spiritual journey. The idea that we might share the universe with other intelligent beings invites us to reflect on our own existence and the role we play in creating meaning. What kind of questions would we ask ourselves if we knew we were not alone? In conclusion, the search for extraterrestrial life is a journey full of mystery, hope, and wonder. Each discovery, each advancement in technology, offers us new opportunities to answer one of humanity's oldest questions. Are we alone in the universe? As we continue to explore the stars and the worlds around us, perhaps one day we will obtain the answer we so long for. So as you look up at the starry sky, remember that each star could be a home for others, and that possibility is truly wonderful. The Fermi paradox is a fascinating enigma that invites us to reflect on life in the universe. Imagine a vast ocean, immense and full of possibilities, where each wave represents a star and each bubble a planet. In this cosmic ocean, the question that haunts us is, where is everybody? As we look to the stars and discover new worlds, we encounter a dilemma. Despite the vastness of the universe and the number of planets that could harbor life, we have yet to find concrete evidence of extraterrestrial beings. The Fermi paradox originates from a simple yet powerful question. If the universe is so large and old, and if there are so many planets that could have life, why have we not seen any signs of it? It's like attending a big party where everyone seems to be having fun, but you don't see anyone you know. You wonder if there are really others there, or if everyone is hiding in a dark corner. Some might think that perhaps intelligent life is extremely rare, but is that really possible? Consider the fact that there are billions of stars in our galaxy, and many of them have planetary systems similar to ours. In theory, there should be countless planets that could support life. But what if life is like a delicate flower that only blooms under extremely specific conditions, perhaps even though the universe is filled with planets? The combination of factors necessary for life to arise is so unique that it is unlikely to be repeated. Another possibility is that intelligent life exists but is not interested in communicating with us. It's like being at a large family gathering surrounded by relatives, but no one wants to talk to you. Maybe advanced civilizations are so busy exploring their own worlds that they don't realize there are other beings in the universe. Or perhaps they have developed technologies that make intergalactic communication irrelevant, like a group of friends who communicate through text messages instead of doing it in person. There is also the idea that intelligent civilizations tend to self-destruct before they have the chance to expand and communicate with others. The history of humanity is marked by wars, disasters, and crises. It's possible that, much like a fire that begins to burn intensely, many civilizations extinguish themselves before they can reach the stars. Sometimes it is mentioned that extraterrestrials might be here, but we simply do not recognize them. Perhaps they are among us, but disguise themselves as humans like a magic trick we cannot unravel. Or maybe the signals they send are so subtle that they go unnoticed, like a whisper in a noisy room. As we explore the cosmos, we encounter another dilemma: the vastness of time. Life on Earth has only existed for a few thousand years. But the universe is billions of years old. Intelligent civilizations may arise and go extinct on timescales we cannot comprehend. So what if, at this very moment, in some corner of the universe, there is a civilization about to flourish, but is centuries away from us? The search for extraterrestrial life is filled with questions and speculations. Scientists have developed an approach to this search known as the principle of mediocrity, which suggests that we are not special and that life should be common in the universe. But what if we are wrong? What if we are in a privileged position and life is scarcer than we think? Meanwhile, we continue to search. With each new telescope and each new space mission, humanity delves a little deeper into the darkness of the cosmos. The Fermi paradox serves as a reminder of our curiosity and our desire to understand our place in the universe. As we cast our questions into the void, we continue to hope for an answer, a signal that tells us we are not alone. So, as we contemplate the vastness of the universe, one cannot help but wonder, what other surprises does the cosmos hold for us? The stars shine in the night, and with each glance upward, we come a little closer to unraveling this mystery. The search for life beyond our planet is a journey that takes us to explore not only space but also ourselves and what it means to be human in such a vast and full of possibilities universe. In this journey, every question is as important as every answer, and each step we take brings us closer to discovering the truth about our solitude or our place in the galactic community. Black holes are one of the most intriguing phenomena in the universe. Imagine a place in space where gravity is so intense that nothing, not even light, can escape its pull. This is what happens with a black hole. It is like a cosmic vacuum cleaner, a point where matter has collapsed in such a way that its gravitational force becomes overwhelming. But how do these mysteries of the cosmos form? Black holes are born from the death of massive stars. When a star exhausts its nuclear fuel, it can no longer hold itself against the gravity acting upon it. In an instant, the star collapses in on itself, and if its mass is large enough, it becomes a black hole. This process is so dramatic that it can be compared to a giant shrinking down to a tiny point, leaving behind a gravitational footprint that can influence everything around it. A fascinating curiosity is that not all black holes are the same. There are several types, but the most well-known are stellar black holes and supermassive black holes. Stellar black holes are those that form from massive stars and typically have between 3 and 20 times the mass of the Sun. In contrast, supermassive black holes, which are found at the center of almost all galaxies, can have millions or even billions of times the mass of the Sun. Can you imagine the amount of matter that must be concentrated to create such a black hole? What about the famous boundary that surrounds a black hole? This limit is called the event horizon, and it is the point of no return. Once something crosses this threshold, there is no way to escape. It is like the edge of a cosmic cliff. If you fall, there is no going back. This concept has fascinated scientists and curious minds alike, as it raises profound questions about the nature of time and space. Scientists have developed intriguing theories about what really happens inside a black hole. Some suggest that the matter falling into it is crushed into an infinitely dense point known as a singularity. However, what occurs beyond the event horizon remains a mystery. Some theories even suggest that black holes could be gateways to other universes. Could they really be tunnels to unknown dimensions? But how do we know that black holes exist if we cannot see them directly? They are often detected through their effects on the surrounding environment. When a black hole is in a binary system, it can attract matter from its companion, creating a disk of gas and dust around it. This material heats up and emits bright radiation, allowing astronomers to detect the presence of the black hole. It's as if the black hole is hidden in plain sight, revealing its existence through its influence on the world around it. The famous image of the black hole in the galaxy M87, captured in 2019 by the Event Horizon Telescope, was a milestone in astronomy. This image showed the shadow of the black hole and its accretion disk, providing visual evidence of its existence. However, the image was not a simple portrait. It was the result of years of collaborative work and the combination of data from various telescopes around the planet. Who would have thought that global collaboration could lead to the discovery of something so astonishing? Black holes also play a crucial role in the formation and evolution of galaxies. Their presence is believed to influence the rate at which new stars form and how galaxies develop over time. This means that black holes are not just devourers of matter, but also agents of change in the cosmos. Could it be that in their veracity they are shaping the universe as we know it? As we explore more about these enigmatic phenomena, Philosophical questions also arise. If black holes can absorb everything that falls into them, does this mean they could be the final destination of matter? What happens to the information that is lost inside them? This is a debate that has fascinated physicists and philosophers alike, and it still has no answer. The idea that information could disappear challenges our understanding of the laws of physics. In the context of relativity, black holes also teach us about the nature of space and time. As one approaches a black hole, time appears to slow down due to the intense gravity. This is known as time dilation. For a distant observer, someone approaching a black hole might seem to freeze in time, but for that person, time would continue to move forward. What does this mean for our understanding of time and fate? It is surprising to think that despite their destructive nature, black holes can also be sources of creation. When stars collapse, they release energy and matter that can, in turn, give rise to new stars and planetary systems. In this sense, black holes are both destroyers and creators in the eternal cycle of the cosmos. As we continue to explore the universe, the study of black holes leads us to question what we know about reality. Each discovery brings us one step closer to understanding not only how the universe works, but also our place in it. With each new finding, we realize that the cosmos is a vast mystery yet to be unraveled. So, as we contemplate the stars in the night sky, let us remember that they are not just distant lights, but also bearers of cosmic secrets. Black holes, with all their complexity and mystery, invite us to keep exploring, to keep questioning, and above all, to marvel at the immensity of the universe that surrounds us. What else will the cosmos reveal to us in its infinite vastness? Supernovae are like cosmic fireworks, explosions so bright that they can outshine an entire galaxy for a short period. But what causes them? These spectacular events occur at the end of the life of certain stars, especially those that are much larger than our Sun. When a star exhausts its nuclear fuel, it finds itself at a crossroads. Instead of simply fading away, it can experience a cataclysmic explosion that transforms it into a supernova. Imagine a star as a bonfire. At first, it burns brightly, but eventually the wood is consumed and the fire begins to weaken. In the case of stars, when the fuel runs out, the core collapses. This initial implosion is followed by a massive explosion that blasts layers of gas and dust into space. But what is the result of this explosion? Supernovae are not only spectacular, but they also play a crucial role in the formation of the universe as we know it. When a star explodes, it disperses heavy elements throughout the cosmos. These elements are the same ones that form planets, asteroids, and even life itself. For example, the carbon in our bodies and the oxygen we breathe originated in the supernovae of stars that exploded billions of years ago. Have you ever wondered why there are so many elements in the periodic table? The answer lies in supernovae. When these stars explode, they create and disperse elements that fuse to form new compounds. It's as if nature is creating a cocktail of ingredients that will eventually combine to give life to new worlds. Without supernovae, the universe would be a much simpler place, lacking the diversity of elements we know today. Sometimes supernovae can be so bright that they can be seen from billions of light years away. In the year 1600, astronomers noticed a new star in the night sky that wasn't there before. It was a supernova in the constellation Cassiopeia, and its light was so intense that it was visible to the naked eye for weeks. This event not only fascinated astronomers of the time, but also changed our understanding of the universe. There are different types of supernovae, with the most common being Type 1 and Type 2. Type 1 supernovae occur in binary systems where a white dwarf star accumulates material from its companion until it reaches a critical point and explodes. Type 2 supernovae, on the other hand, are the result of the death of massive stars that exhaust their nuclear fuel. But why is it important to distinguish between these types? Each type of supernova has a different role in the evolution of the universe. Type 1 supernovae are valuable tools for astronomers, as they are used as standard candles to measure distances in the cosmos. Thanks to their predictable brightness, scientists can calculate how far away galaxies are. It's like having a cosmic distance meter that helps map our universe. On the other hand, Type II supernovae are responsible for the creation of nebulae, which are clouds of gas and dust where new stars can be born. These nebulae are the result of the material expelled during the explosion of the star, creating an environment conducive to the formation of new generations of stars. Thus, the stellar life cycle continues, with each supernova sowing the seeds for future stars. However, the question remains, what would happen if a supernova occurred in our own galaxy, the Milky Way? If a nearby star were to explode, it could have a significant impact on our planet. Although it is unlikely that a nearby supernova would cause immediate harm, the radiation from such an event could affect the Earth's atmosphere and potentially life on Earth. But before panicking, it is important to highlight that stars close enough to cause damage are rare. Despite their destructive potential, supernovae are essential for the formation of the universe. Without them, we would not have the necessary elements for life. The stellar life cycle, which includes the formation of stars, their explosion, and the creation of new elements, is a fascinating process that connects everything we know. Science continues to explore the mysteries of supernovae and their role in the cosmos. With each new discovery, we learn more about how the universe was formed and how it continues to evolve. Observing supernovae not only provides us with information about the past, but also helps us understand the future of the universe. In summary, supernovae are more than just simple explosions. They are cosmic events that shape our universe, create essential elements, and allow new stars to rise from their ashes. When we look up at the night sky, we are not just seeing stars, we are witnessing the legacy of past supernovae that have left their mark on the cosmos. The next time you observe a bright star, remember that it could be a reminder of an ancient cataclysm that helped shape the very matter that makes up our being. Have you ever marveled at the vastness of the universe and wondered what lies beyond what we can see? In the vast cosmos, there are concepts that challenge our understanding and awaken our curiosity. Two of these mysteries are dark matter and dark energy, two elements that, although we cannot see, have a monumental impact on the structure and evolution of the universe. Dark matter is like a shadow in space. Although it does not shine or reflect light, its presence is felt through its gravitational influence. If we think of a party, dark matter would be like the friend who always stands in the background, invisible but whose weight is felt when dancing. Without it, galaxies would spin chaotically, as if they were on a dance floor without music. However, thanks to dark matter, stars and galaxies maintain their cohesion, spinning in harmony through the cosmos. But where does this dark matter come from? Scientists believe it accounts for approximately 85% of the total matter in the universe. It is an astonishingly large amount. But we still do not know exactly what it is. Some theories suggest it could be made up of exotic particles that we have never detected. Imagine a puzzle with many pieces that do not fit, yet the image forms. That is the challenge faced by astrophysicists, to find the pieces of this cosmic puzzle. On the other hand, dark energy is even more intriguing. It is thought to represent around 70% of the universe. Unlike dark matter, which acts through gravity, dark energy seems to be driving an accelerated expansion of the universe. What does this mean? Imagine you are inflating a balloon. At first, it is easy to inflate. But as it expands, the pressure increases and it becomes more difficult. Dark energy is like an air blower that keeps inflating that balloon, causing the universe to expand faster and faster. The question we all ask is, what exactly is this dark energy? Scientists are still trying to decipher its nature. Some theories suggest it could be a property of space itself, while others consider it might be a new type of energy that we have yet to discover. Imagine a world where the rules of physics change, where dark energy acts as a master of the cosmic dance, dictating the rhythm of the universe's expansion. Both dark matter and dark energy are like the great puppeteers of the universe. Without their influence, everything we know would change radically. Galaxies would not form, stars would scatter, and the universe could be a very different place, perhaps even chaotic, where life as we know it could not exist. It is astonishing to think that, although we cannot see these elements, their existence is crucial to the very fabric of reality. The quest to understand these mysteries leads us to ask profound questions. How can we study something we cannot see? Scientists use telescopes and experiments in laboratories to try to detect dark matter and dark energy. It is a bit like trying to hear a melody in the distance, where the sound becomes an echo that we must interpret. Each discovery in this field is a step toward a clearer answer, although often more questions arise. The relationship between dark matter and dark energy is also a fascinating topic of discussion. Could they be connected in some way, or are they two completely different entities in this vast cosmic stage? Scientists are working hard to unravel this mystery, and each new finding could change our understanding of physics and how the universe works. At its core, dark matter and dark energy remind us that the universe is full of secrets. They teach us the humility of our own existence and push us to continue exploring, perhaps in the not-so-distant future. We will discover the true nature of these cosmic components. In doing so, we could open the door to a new era of understanding about our place in the cosmos. Imagine a universe where we finally understand what dark matter and dark energy are. How would that change our view of the cosmos? Scientists and astronomers are on a constant quest, like explorers in a sea of stars, dedicated to unraveling the mysteries that still remain hidden. Every answer we find is like a spark of light in the darkness of space, illuminating our path toward a future full of discoveries. So the next time you look at the starry sky, remember that there is more at stake than it seems. Dark matter and dark energy are silent witnesses that shape the universe and invite us to continue exploring its vastness. On this journey into the unknown, every question is a shining star, and every answer is one step closer to understanding the secrets of the universe. Have you ever stopped to think about the vastness of the universe and what remains for us to discover? Throughout this stellar journey, we have explored so many fascinating facts about celestial bodies, exoplanets, and phenomena that seem straight out of a science fiction movie. However, at the end of the day, the question we all ask ourselves is, what does all this mean for us here and now? The cosmos is an amazing place, full of mysteries that challenge us to understand. Every star we see in the sky is like a beacon reminding us that we are part of something much larger. But beyond scientific curiosity, there is an emotional aspect to this exploration. What does the universe tell us about ourselves? Perhaps the answer lies in the constant pursuit of knowledge. When we look up at the sky, we are not just observing the bright lights that adorn our night. We are connecting with past generations who also looked up, filled with questions. Humanity has always felt an irresistible fascination with the unknown. That need to explore, to discover, not only defines our present but also shapes our future. How can we ignore the call of the stars? Science has provided us with incredible tools to delve into the cosmos. With each new discovery, we get a little closer to understanding our place in this vast universe. But is that enough? Can we truly comprehend the magnitude of space and time? We face a dilemma. For every answer we find, new questions arise. The Fermi paradox, for example, makes us ponder life on other worlds. If the universe is so large and ancient, why have we not found signs of life? The wonders of the universe, such as black holes and supernovae, teach us about the fragility and grandeur of existence. These phenomena are not just visual spectacles. They are also reminders that everything we know is in constant flux. Dark matter and dark energy, for their part, are like the shadows that shape our reality, even though we do not yet fully understand their nature. Who knows what else lies hidden in the depths of the cosmos? Reflecting on what we have learned, we can see that our quest for knowledge unites us. Every discovery, every star studied, brings us a little closer to the truth about our existence. However, it is easy to get lost in the complexity of science and forget what all this really means. We should remember that the universe is also full of beauty, mystery, and above all, possibilities. Imagine a future where we can travel to other star systems, where humanity can expand to new frontiers. That vision may seem distant, but every scientific advance brings us closer to that dream. And although we may not know if there is life out there, what truly matters is the journey itself. The exploration of the cosmos is a journey into the unknown, a path filled with surprises and discoveries that enrich us as a species. The importance of continuing to explore the universe lies in the fact that with every step we take, we are writing the story of humanity. Every space mission, every telescope launched into space is another chapter in our collective book. And although we face challenges, each obstacle is an opportunity to learn and grow. So as you look up at the night sky, remember that those stars are more than just bright points. They are symbols of hope, curiosity, and perseverance. The search for answers is an endless journey, and each of us has a role to play in this grand adventure. Finally, as we close this cycle of exploration, we must not only be grateful for what we have learned, but also for what is yet to come. The universe is full of mysteries waiting to be discovered. If we maintain our curiosity and wonder, we will never stop exploring. And in that exploration, perhaps we will find not only answers about the cosmos, but also about ourselves. So what are your thoughts on the universe? What questions remain unanswered for you? The adventure never ends, and each of us is part of this endless story. Let us keep looking up, dreaming and exploring, for the cosmos will always have something to teach us.